Boom, boom. Okay, there we go. That's why the audio check's important. Good afternoon, man. Welcome. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm going to be reintroducing this story. Vanessa Morales, at the time she was 1 year old, that went missing, and her mother's name is Christine Holloway, and the father is Jose Morales. It's right in the title. And I actually covered this story a while back, actually in 2019. Bree reached out to me today, and she was like, oh, maybe you should look into the story. And I was like, oh, I covered that story. And I forgot how many, I've covered so many stories, but back then I was a lot smaller. A lot of these videos have like 1,000, 2,000 views, maybe if that. And so I figured, let me reintroduce it to the new audience if possible and try to go through some of the updates, kind of recap. And so that's what we're going to do today. And there's a bunch of other things too. I'm keeping an eye on Lena. I haven't checked in the last couple hours because I was preparing for this. But I'm keeping an eye for the Lena story. And there's a new story that somebody sent me as well that's kind of interesting. But I have to sit down and like look up the information, see if it's enough for a live stream or just a dedicated video. And yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by and hitting the like button. What's up, Vic, Katie, Momo, Shalama, Catherine, ASCH, what's up? Welcome, Lexa, My Melody, Marilyn. Oof, kind of burned my throat a little bit. I want to play a little bit of, this is Vanessa here.
She won't do this thing.
Video
she won't do this thing. Just wait till her see. She might. Mom, you're gonna make her cry.
She's like, give me back my
There she goes, there she goes, there she goes. Mama, don't make she's laughing and smiling. Let her do it so she can get it.
Ooh, look at that pout.
She's like. Uh-oh, she's somehow very watching. She's sliding out. She's sliding down.
She's like, give me back my pasta.
I'm scared she's gonna slide on that floor. No, she's right. Come here. I'm just gonna scoot it back some. There we go. Hey, Mom. I still I'm going to give her that shot before we go to that thing, so I don't have to worry about it later. She's going to do that one day.
We bring some more.
I also wanted to show, I can't play the audio on this, but you can see just some of the visuals at least. I was trying to maximize it, but I don't know how that works. And we're going to be watching some videos from this person as well. This is Christine's sister-in-law, and apparently she's been advocating for Vanessa and Christine this entire time. I didn't even know. Bree sent me this page today. So we're going to take a look at some of her videos because she talks about some of the court stuff, what she thinks happened, you know, because Vanessa, the little girl, is still missing. The mother was found dead. Okay. And he's not being charged with anything to do with the little girl. And I'm going to take you through the timeline after I play some videos as well. Some of the basic timeline. That's her right there. This was a presser from 2019.
Anyone with any information on her whereabouts, we beg of you to please contact Ansonia Police Department or call the FBI.
So Ansonia, this is in Connecticut, I believe. Connecticut.
Tip line 203-503-5555. We desperately need anyone that might be with baby Vanessa to keep her safe unharmed and get her back to us quickly.
As we've said during these press conferences, the FBI tip line 203-503-5555, 203-503-5555 is the best line to call in regards to tips. It goes right to a clearinghouse.
I believe this is the sister-in-law here. So this is like her, I don't know what family, but part of, I think, Christine's family. And I think this is the sister-in-law right there walking.
Dispersed to our law enforcement partners immediately for follow-up. If you want to remain anonymous, you can. If you want to remain completely anonymous, we have a tip hotline online called www.tip411.com. I'm open to any questions now if anyone may have.
What can you tell us about the Hamden investigation that's going on right now?
We received a lead this morning in relation to the overall investigation that led us to the Kiducation Donation Center. Right now, the Connecticut State Police and Ansonia Police detectives are there processing the scene for potential evidence in the investigation.
We're told certain items were found in the bin. Can you go into that at all?
We're not going to go into the items that we have found so far, other than to say evidence is being recovered and we're hoping to analyze it and it'll lead to a successful conclusion to this case.
Do we believe that's associated with the homicide or with the disappearance?
We are not going to go into particular details as to which aspect. This is a two-pronged investigation, as we've talked about. The overall investigation is a homicide and a missing one-year-old child. That is part of this overall arching investigation.
Do you have any suspects? You got today, how close does it get to resolving, to finding Vanessa?
We don't have that information at this time. It's leading us with evidence to make a successful completion towards our goal, which is finding her and bringing the killer of Catherine to justice.
Where are you with suspects at this point? Do you have people of interest?
We are not releasing anything in regards to our people of interest. We are following leads. We are interviewing people actively now and have been for the last several days.
Do you have anybody in custody, even on unrelated charges?
We do not have anybody in custody on unrelated charges.
Can you speak to the father? There are reports that he's been arrested.
I believe the father was arrested in New Haven. It was a New Haven police arrest. The information would come through them and not through our agency.
But not related to the investigation then here?
Not related to our homicide or missing person investigation, no.
Does the father continue to cooperate?
Father has been cooperative.
And I reached out to somebody about this story as well. I'm just kind of right now taking you through the motions. We're going to go through the details, but I'm kind of like taking you back through 2019 to kind of see what the, the feeling was, the pressures were. But I reached out to somebody as well that hopefully maybe they can give some more information outside of this information, like personal information, things. Because yeah, he's being charged with Christine's murder, which we're going to get into, but nothing with Vanessa. And both of them were missing. Like at the same time, there was a welfare check that was done. And that's when Christine's body was found. And Vanessa was missing and some of the child's belongings were gone as well.
Do you believe that?
This was in 2019. Police were there December 2nd, 2019.
Vanessa's still alive?
That is what we are driving. That is our driving force right now. We are very hopeful that we are going to find her. We believe that she is with someone safe, and we want to make it a priority that they understand whatever circumstances that they have received Vanessa, just bring her back to us so that we know she's safe. We are not looking to arrest anyone. We are not looking to begin criminal proceedings. Our priority is Vanessa's safety, bringing her home.
Regarding the Amber Alert, I mean, how has that helped your investigation?
The Amber Alert has just opened it up to more eyes. It put up on the highway billboards, put a picture up there, and just it gets more eyes on it, basically.
What kind of response have you had? Any good tips on it?
The tips are rolling in, so yeah, I would say there has been good response. I can't give you a definitive, but I know that they've been receiving tips steadily over for the entire investigation and still since the Amber Alert came out. The tips keep coming in.
This seems to be continuing to expand across the state, or across the region rather here, outside of Ansonia. Are you expecting this to extend past the state, or you still believe that Vanessa may be in the state?
At this point, we have no reason to believe that we've crossed any state lines. Everything should be still contained within Connecticut.
Like, what's the FBI's role?
The FBI's role is in the missing person. They have given us resources and the ability to search social media and basically manpower. They've given us multiple people. We've had teams out canvassing neighborhoods in Ansonia. following up on any leads we've come through social media or through the tip line, having agents go out there and ask questions and gather information that way.
How did you come?
Today as well, at Bing's outside St. Michael's Church, is that part of this as well?
Yes. Yes. Well, Kiducation has bins, and one of the bins is in Derby, so naturally we were checking any Kiducation bins. So we were in Derby checking that bin.
Was it a Kiducation employee that found something odd in the bin that's what alerted police?
Yes.
Is it just Kiducation by itself? I mean, there's other bins out there like Do Good or Salvation Army.
Right now our focus is on the Kiducation.
The clock's ticking. How hard of an investigation is this for you with a clock like that?
This just kind of makes me think too, when I thought about this story, no, it's kind of old. And at that time, it kind of got attention and didn't really take off, I think. But it makes you think of all these other kids too now, like Lena, you got Summer Wells, the West Boys. I mean, the list just goes on and on. How important it is at the time when it's happening, because, I mean, look, this is kind of something where you can look years later, potentially the child's just gone, like just disappeared. But I totally think this guy obviously had something to do with it.
Yeah, the longer it goes, the more concerning it gets. As I stated previously, 1-year-old child wholly dependent on everyone else for their well-being. We are working on the premise, and we will continue to work on the premise that she is safe somewhere, and we are going to find her and bring her home.
So whatever was found in the bins today, I know you don't want to get into that, but whatever was found in the bins today, does it lead you to believe that she is harmed?
We're not going to comment on that at this point.
What makes you believe that she's safe and with someone?
That's our goal. That's what makes us believe that it's our goal.
No evidence that
we have no evidence to the contrary.
Any idea how long the mother was deceased?
We have no indication of that at this time.
But what didn't you say, or the chief said that there was a witness that said he had seen somebody with her that Saturday?
My recollection is that our last known contact with her was Friday evening. With our last known contact. We are not going to release details as to who was in contact with her. We can verify that someone had contact with her on Friday evening.
So it's possible she could have been missing since Friday night?
That is possible. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
Can you say if friends and family are tied to the Kiducation Center?
I have no information on that.
Is the kid on any kind of medication?
We're not aware of any medical issues the child may have or any medication that she would take on a regular basis, no.
Did you ID the mother's name?
Yes. Her name is Christine Marie Holloway, age 43. She was identified.
Did she live at that address?
She was a resident address with her daughter Vanessa.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think this guy lived there. The video that I did, which we're gonna watch, it has all the details. I just kind of wanted to do a little introductory. Right after this presser, I'm gonna take you through the timeline real quick so you can kind of get the details in your head, and then I'm gonna play my clip, and then we'll go through through the years of what's kind of happened. And he's pleading not guilty, by the way.
But you have no evidence that the girl is alive or that she's dead?
We're not going to keep going over that point, Mike. We're not going to keep going over that point.
So the father's in custody in New Haven, and he's been cooperating. It seems like...
The father has cooperated with us. New Haven has made an arrest on him. That's all the information that I have to release. Anything else, folks?
There were stun guns taken from his house. Any indication that those stun guns were used in this crime?
That is New Haven's arrest. I have no information on that. You good, folks? Okay, as a housekeeping, initially we had her name spelled V-E-N-E-S-S-A. We have clarified today that it's V-A-N-E-S-S-A. So it's V-A-N-E-S-S-A. It's a minor clerical error, and we want to make sure we
Aunt's
corrected
last name, can you give that to us?
it. She did not want her last name given.
What was the Anna's name on it?
Anna, A-N-N-A. What's that?
And how do you spell her, Christine Holloway? How do you spell her name?
Christine, C-H-R-I-S-T-I-N-E, and Holloway is H-A-L-L-O-W-A-Y.
And the aunt is on the mother's side or the father's side?
Mom's side. That's the Holloway side of the family.
And the people behind you?
They were all members of the Holloway family. Her mom and her brothers and significant others were behind us.
Are they from this area or?
They're from around the area, not specifically Ansonia.
Are they interested in at all, like talking at all anymore?
No, they wanted to have their statement read out, and they were not interested in answering any questions. They're extremely concerned. They're extremely upset, as you can see. They are.
Oh yeah, that is where you're at.
It's a baby.
Momo?
It's their baby, and they want their baby home.
I think, yeah.
They have been extremely helpful. I will tell you this: both sides of the family have been extremely helpful. This is what's most frustrating for us. The benefit that we've had of having the number of people on this investigation means we can talk to a lot of people very quickly, and that's been very helpful. The FBI has been outstanding. The Connecticut State Police has been outstanding. Derby Police Department, Stratford Police Department, Naugatuck Police Department, Hamden Police Department. Anytime we call a police department that we have a lead at, they are there and they are helping us out, no questions asked.
Do you have a ballpark how many people you've interviewed so far?
I don't have that information available to me.
You named a lot of places that the investigations, that's a lot of places.
It is a lot of places. Some have gone through the Stratford. I'll tell you, the Stratford investigation was a tip that a small child that looked like Vanessa was in a car. A description of the car, the plate was given, came out of Stratford. Stratford Police Department immediately went to the house for us, identified the driver, and the driver's granddaughter was not our missing person. Naugatuck, we had some areas to look for evidence up in Naugatuck from information we had received. Naugatuck was more than willing to help us with that, and the state police also assisted on that.
So the Amber Alert's been pretty helpful for you so far?
The Amber Alert has been helpful for us, yes.
Did you find anything in Naugatuck that?
Nothing was found of substance in Naugatuck, no.
And the Derby bin, did you find anything there that was something?
Those scenes are still being processed. Those are all active.
There's so many bins in Hamden, it's going to take you forever to go through.
I have not been down to Hamden, so I'm not sure what the focus of the investigation is. I know that the Connecticut State Police and the Ansonia detectives are down there, and they're working it, and they're a good team.
Are they using a police dog to?
I don't have that information, so I don't know.
Has the investigation gone outside of Connecticut at all?
Our investigation has not gone outside Connecticut.
It's obvious how emotional the family members were. You want to just talk about how tough it's been on the police side of it?
Yeah, I mean, we're all parents. We all have kids. Worst nightmare. You don't know where a relative, a one-year-old baby. That's just, it's unfathomable. It's unthinkable. You don't let yourself go there. We go towards, we are going to find her safe. That's what keeps each cop going. That's what keeps each member of law enforcement that's helping us going.
Can I walk through a minute later?
That's okay.
Can you explain to me the bin connection and the specific brand or business that the bin is connected?
It's Education Donation Center. It's a clothing bin. They're located throughout Connecticut. We received a call of some potential evidence recovered from a bin. Their distribution center is down.
Yeah, we might. I don't know. There's been talk about the whole chip thing. I see. Who was that? Okay, the smoking Eugenie says, "Do we need to put tracking chips in our youth like our animals?" They might. I don't know. They already have clothing, I think, that can have chips in it and stuff like that, and you put it on your kids.
On State Street in Hamden, we sent the detectives and the Connecticut State Police down there. They are.
But maybe clothing's not enough, because who knows? Maybe they take off the clothing, whatever. They're gonna have to start putting chips inside the kids.
Currently sorting through some of the stuff for potential evidence. We've checked local bins, and we're checking those for more potential evidence. We are not going to comment on what the evidence is. Part of our continuing investigation, we don't want to compromise what we're doing. You're welcome.
Would you guys chip your kid? Like an internal, what is it called? Subdermal? Is that the right terminology? Subdermal? Subdermal. I think that's under the skin, right? Subdermal. Yeah, subdermal.
Anything else, folks? You're welcome. All
right, so let me take you through some of the timeline a little bit, especially for the new people that have come. So November 29, 2019, last confirmed contact with Christine Holloway. This is the mother. This is Vanessa. She was, at the time, she was 1. December 2nd, 2019, 1 p.m., there was a welfare check done. Christine's employer requests welfare check, no contact. Outside the home, I guess. December 2nd, 2019 at 7:30 p.m., so 1 p.m., 7:30, a second welfare check. Christine's family requests welfare check. Christine found dead in home. Vanessa Morales was missing. So the mother's dead and the baby is missing. This is in Connecticut. December 2nd, 2019, silver alert issued. Vanessa Morales listed as missing. Silver alert issued. December 3rd, 2019, father arrested on gun charges. Search warrant executed at Jose Morales' New Haven home. And so I think that's what the story was. Like, they used to be together. They weren't together anymore. And I believe this guy went in there and did what he did, which you're going to see more in the video. Search warrant executed at Jose Morales' New Haven home. New Haven PD charges him with possessing 2 stun guns. He is held on a $250,000 bail, which that's what we just heard in the conference, where the guy was wondering and asking, did the stun guns have anything to do with Christine? And he was charged for that, like, a separate thing. December 4th, 2019, Amber Alert goes out. Amber Alert issued for Vanessa, escalating a search. Same day, December 4th, 2019, mom's death ruled a homicide. Official chief medical examiner rules Christine Holloway's death as a homicide by blunt force trauma. December 5th, 2019, donation boxes searched, which is the other thing we kept hearing referenced throughout the presser. Police searched clothing donation boxes in Derby and Hamden for potential evidence related to the investigation. They held a community vigil December 7th. December 11th was the funeral held for mother. Family members of Christine Holloway came together to honor and remember her during the funeral service. December 17th, father ID'd as suspect in both cases. Jose Morales identified as suspect in the death of Christine Holloway and the disappearance of Vanessa Morales, though there's no charges for Vanessa. This is like the missing flyer right here. December 18, 2019, father appears in court. Jose Morales appears in the New Haven court on weapons charges unrelated to the Ansonia case. December 19, 2019, more photos released. Police released more photos showing items used to care for Vanessa. Seeks public's help to find them and girl. Like a baby bag, I guess. Police searched Division Street for evidence. The discovery of a discarded car seat led investigators to search the area around BJ's Wholesale Club on Division Street for possible evidence. So this is all the things that were kind of progressing back then in 2019, which I guess it's kind of gone cold for Vanessa. January 1st, 2020, possible sighting of Vanessa. Bridgeport police reported a possible sighting of Vanessa Morales at Bridgeport Hospital, but Ansonia detectives determined the child in the video was not her. It's been like a roller coaster. December 16, 2020, police murder warrant in the works. Police Chief Andrew Cota said his officers are working diligently on a warrant that will charge Jose Morales with the murder of Christine Holloway. February 7, 2020, father charged with murder. After 2 months of questioning, searching, and testing blood-stained clothing, police charged Jose Morales with the slaying of Christine Holloway and tampering with evidence. March 5th, 2020, father pleads not guilty in murder case. Jose Morales' lawyer entered a not guilty plea on his behalf for the charges of murder and tampering with evidence and being a felon in possession of stun guns. December 1st, 2020, search for Vanessa ongoing. And that's kind of the mini timeline, not fully updated, but enough. What I wanted to do is kind of play my video so you can get a bit of a visual. I did this back in January 2020. I made this video. You can watch that kind of for a refresher, some more of the visuals and details.
inside her Myrtle Avenue home. Early last week, Ansonia police say they found 43-year-old Christine Holloway brutally beaten inside her Myrtle Avenue home. Their 1-year-old daughter missing, and an Amber Alert still in effect.
We, the family, would like to ask for everyone in our communities and beyond us to help bring baby Vanessa home safely. We desperately need anyone that might be with baby Vanessa to keep her safe, unharmed, and get her back to us quickly. Anyone with any information on her whereabouts, we beg of you to please contact Ansonia Police Department.
Jose Morales threatened an ex-girlfriend. Quote, "I'm going to break all your bones."
So, hey, take him out. And there's a lot of information that I gotta share with you regarding Vanessa. Whoa, I didn't even realize I'm wearing the same shirt right now. It's kind of weird. Wow. Crazy. I didn't plan that. I totally forgot. Wow. Which is the 1-year-old girl that's missing. Christine, which is the mother that was found deceased.
Police discovered Vanessa's mother, Christine Holloway, beaten to death inside their Myrtle Avenue home. Her baby girl was gone, eventually triggering the Amber Alert.
And Jose, which was arrested the day after they found the mother's body.
Jose Morales is currently locked up on unrelated weapons charges.
On unrelated charges. They said he wasn't a suspect, but now they're saying that he is a suspect.
Jose is a suspect in the mother's death.
And then we're also going to talk about, towards the end of this video, an interesting history that an article had regarding his ex and his history with PCP and some of the issues and run-ins that he's had in the past.
He has been convicted of violence in the past, including in 2012.
Before we get into all the details of what we know that's public, because there's a lot of information that police are withholding, Vanessa Morales, she was last seen November 29th, well, between the 29th and the 30th.
We're told family last saw Vanessa the day after Thanksgiving.
Her description that was given, because there's an Amber Alert for her, she's still missing.
The Amber Alert for 1-year-old Vanessa Morales is still in effect.
Here in downtown Ansonia, a number of businesses have these flyers right up in their windows. It's been the talk of the town, and they're praying for this little girl's safe return.
She hasn't been seen since. Well, today there was a false report. They thought they saw her at a hospital on camera. Apparently that wasn't her.
The child on the video had a striking resemblance to Vanessa, was with a group of people. The baby was not Vanessa, it was a much younger child actually.
She's a 1-year-old. She's described as white, brown hair.
They're working together to investigate the brutal beating of Holloway and to find her daughter.
That was December 2nd. Okay, so the timeline so far is we got the end of November 29th, 30th, when Vanessa was last seen by relatives. Then we have the 2nd, where Christine Holloway's body was found. And then on the 3rd, Jose Morales, which is Vanessa's father, he was arrested the day after. Now, they said this was unrelated charges because they found 2 tasers, and I guess he was on probation or something. He wasn't supposed to have these weapons.
Yeah, police tell us he was arrested on a
Are you guys all right? Yeah, it said buffering for a second. Give it 1 second. You good? Okay.
felony weapons charges in New Haven on Tuesday. His family telling us that it has to do with having stun guns.
Jose Morales, which was initially stated not to be a suspect, but now is a suspect, well, Police Lieutenant Patrick Lynch said we can definitively say that Jose Morales was the last person we can say was with Christine and Vanessa. They declined to state when was the last time that he was with them. So we don't know a timeline of that, but somewhere in between, obviously.
Baby Vanessa's father, 43-year-old Jose Morales, in jail for a month as a result of unrelated weapons charges, remains the primary suspect in both the murder of Vanessa's mother, Christine Holloway, and Vanessa's disappearance.
Also, sources told the Courant, which is the source of most of this information, that there was bloody clothes and rags connected to Holloway's murder. So this is the mother. But sources said that there's nothing that explains what happened to the missing one-year-old daughter. Several recovered items have been sent to police for forensic laboratory, DNA analysis. It's unclear where or when the bloody clothes were discovered. So police, they're giving some information, but not all. And I'm sure it's to protect the integrity of the case. As far as leads in that nature, which police have been kind of hush-hush, they did release images of items that Vanessa would use every day. So things like a car seat, a polka dot comforter, and an Eddie Bauer backpack.
The investigation bringing them to State Street in Hamden. State Police Major Crime spent hours at the Kiducation Donation Center after we're told an employee found possible evidence in a donation bin.
People have been on the lookout for that, and there was somebody that actually, a shopper that reported seeing a Graco car seat that was discarded. It was at the BJ's Wholesale Club in Derby. Police were dispatched, but they didn't release any information as if it was related or not. They're keeping it really tight-lipped.
And tonight, investigators took pictures and examined two.
So if you remember from the press conference, this is the donation bin, the Kiducation. This is where they found, evidence, I guess. This is where they were searching. So you can get like a visual.
Two more bins in Derby, swabbing them and looking inside. They did not say if anything was found.
The other reason the police put these items out is because the items were not actually in the home when they found Christine deceased body. So they believe that it's either still with Vanessa, whoever has Vanessa, or that it was discarded at some point. Police, I've also seen them mention that they believe Vanessa is still alive. I don't know if they still feel like that. I hope so.
We are very hopeful that we are going to find her. We believe that she is with someone safe.
Before we get into the interesting history of Jose Morales, there were some clips too that I saw in the news of his family saying that they would have never thought this. They have a hard time believing it, which is something you hear from families a lot of times.
Family members on the father's side are in shock and
He's such a good guy. He's an angel.
disbelief.
Now, you shouldn't judge somebody on their physical characteristics as far as whether they would commit a crime or not, because if you've been following the crime world or you watch those kind of podcasts or shows, I listen to them. You could look at somebody like Ted Bundy that doesn't look into those characteristics but is. But honestly, man, looking at this guy Jose Morales and then the history that we're going to get into, but just looking at him, something looks like something's wrong with this guy. Deranged. He looks crazy. I have to keep it 100%. I've been keeping it professional. How dare you say crazy? He can build so. But this guy looks crazy. Not somebody I'd want to be friends with. Not somebody, a family member that I would want to hang out with. He looks off.
A relative of Morales told us it's unbelievable to even consider the possibility.
This is from Courant.com, and let's talk about the history. I'm going to read it verbatim. And, he's a convicted felon. That's why he couldn't have those weapons. I'm sure they're just doing that to hold him as well. They're probably trying to solidify their case before they bring forth other evidence and details. Now, the court records detailing Morales's prior arrests show that he was convicted twice in 2012 for incidents involving an ex-girlfriend. In the first case, Morales pinned down a woman to the floor and threatened her at her mother's home in Meridian. He received probation. In the second case, just a few months later, he was charged with breach of peace and violating his probation after a West Haven police officer witnessed a confrontation between Morales and the woman. He received a 9-month jail sentence. So when you think about that, and how many times we've covered cases like this on the channel where somebody kills one of the persons that they're with, and the ex had dealt with similar situations. I couldn't only imagine what it must feel like in your head to think that, damn, this person actually could have killed me. We went through all this stuff. They actually could have killed me. They didn't kill me, but they killed the next one. Insane. Well, here's the details. June 24th, 2012, Meridian police received a 911 call from the victim's mother. So the woman that was attacked or whatever, the mother called. And we're not talking about Christine. This is an ex-girlfriend, saying that the daughter's boyfriend was high on PCP, acting strange, according to the police report. The woman said Morales and her daughter came home around 1:30 a.m. and a short time later, she heard a thump. All right. That was a little bit exaggerated. Sorry. The woman said that she went to investigate. She heard her daughter yell, "Knock it off. You're freaking me out." According to the report, she opened the bedroom door slightly and saw Jose holding her daughter down on the floor. The woman told police she heard Morales saying, "I'm going to break all your bones." Now, PCP is a pretty crazy substance. I've seen a lot of videos online. I've never tried that. I would never want to try that, but I've seen a lot of videos online. You should check it out on YouTube. It's some crazy stuff.
She yelled that she was going to call police, and as she called 911, Morales got off her daughter and went to lie in bed, according to the arrest report. When police arrived, they found Morales lying naked in bed and unable to answer questions. Sounds like PCP. His girlfriend also admitted to doing PCP as well, denied anything had happened, which a lot of people do in cases of domestic violence. But she did admit she had a protective order against Morales because they had gotten into a fight while on PCP, which is another thing that people do when they get a restraining order. I had to get a restraining order once. A lot of times the couples or exes, they still see each other even though they have a restraining order against each other. So Morales was charged with violating the protective order and disorderly contact. He pleaded no contest to the charge, and 2 months later received a 3-year prison sentence that was suspended and 2 years of probation, court records show. Morales was on probation less than 2 months when he was arrested again in October 2012 after another altercation with the same woman. A lot of times when people are in these kinds of relationships, one person might be thinking it's going to stop, it's going to change, it's going to get better, maybe things will, and it never does. It just continues and it keeps getting worse. I wonder if Christine was going through this. And haven't we been talking about the same thing for like years and years and years and years, right? Her relationship with this guy. A West Haven police officer was patrolling Campbell Avenue on October 1st, 2012, when he saw Morales and 2 women, one with a child in a stroller, walking south when Morales reached out and maliciously grabbed one of the female's arms, according to the arrest affidavit filed by a probation officer. The victim was frantically trying to break free, he wrote. This dude's doing this in front of the police. The woman got away, but Morales ran in front of her and grabbed her again, according to the affidavit. The officer told Morales, get his hands off the woman. Morales yelled at the officer, I did nothing wrong. I was just talking with my girlfriend. It's probably off that PCP again, allegedly. Who cares, right? Who cares about allegedly with this guy? Morales was charged with a breach of peace with the West Haven police. Archibald had him charged with violating his probation because the woman he was arguing with was the same one from the Meridian case only a few months earlier. Morales once again got a 3-year sentence, only this time he served 9 months in prison, and he was given 2 years probation, court records. This is a whole different off-topic thing, but I don't know if you know now too, the Democrats and the liberals. I don't want to bring it into politics.
Oh, I forgot I did that. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
But these people are pushing now to where people that are charged with something, like they don't have to do any kind of they don't have to pay a bail, they don't have to serve time or whatever. They can just come right back out. So a lot of people now, they're afraid to report crimes, because you report a crime, the police come, they take him in, and they let him right back out. That's happening in New York. You guys comment down below.
I mean, it is true though. It is true.
Let me know your thoughts, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not, leave a like, share the videos. The subscriptions really help. We're trying to get to 30,000. So when I cover stories like this, even though I got to this story pretty late because of just time constraints, but it really helps get the news out fast. Make sure you follow me here, follow me on Facebook, and if consider becoming a member if you'd like, here on YouTube or Patreon. Really appreciate it, because these videos are considered controversial or, you know, sensitive topics, and a lot of the times either the video gets demonetized or it.
The only reason I'm showing this is because I watched this part earlier. I skimmed that's the problem with skimming through videos. I completely skimmed over the Democrat thing, but it's kind of interesting to look back at yourself. I don't know how I didn't realize I put on the same shirt. I did it last minute. But looking back at yourself, I was like talking about like making this thing a full-time thing, because I like to speak things into existence, and look what I'm doing now.
It might be monetized, and then it's under like a stricter category where it doesn't really earn anything. And, you know, my hope is to do this full-time one day, not to have to do a full-time job, 8 hours plus, come home, and if I don't have my daughter, then it's almost 1 in the.
Anyway, we can move on from that, but yeah. Just interesting to see. So that was kind of like a detailed breakdown that I did. I did one video on it. I think it was only one, and I kind of forgot about it. I honestly forgot that I even did that. What I wanted to do too. It's a messed up story, man.
That's what it is.
Oh, we're gonna take a look at her in a second. It is a really messed up story, because I guess these people can beat the crap out of people, abuse people, beat the shit out of women, do all kinds of stuff. And we're just you keep getting out. Well, we'll let you out. We'll keep letting you out and out and out and out and out until you finally kill somebody. And a kid's missing. Maybe that kid's dead too. I don't know. You know? Check this out. And the monetization thing, that there's YouTubers now talking about this monetization issue that's going on. There's like an issue right now on YouTube. There's always been an issue, but I've been talking about this forever. But I guess now it's hitting levels that big creators are being affected now. And so like they're not the last couple of days they're not monetizing anything. Before that, they were just taking really long, like more than normal, like a couple of days. Then they added this little disclaimer. It could take up to like 7 or 10 days, I think it is. And then now what I know is the last couple of days, I don't know, maybe they're on break or something. Maybe these people in the call centers, maybe they just walked out and said, screw this working environment. I had no idea what's going on. There's a big thing going on right now with YouTubers and they're talking about it. But I've been talking about, you don't know how long I've been talking about this. Now everybody's talking about it. Right?
And Christine Holloway. It's been 2 years since their nightmare began. That's when police discovered Holloway beaten to death and Vanessa taken. Her aunt opening up to Marissa Alter today about their new normal.
1-year-old Vanessa Morales was just starting to walk in this video, a milestone her family got to see. 2 years later, they've missed everyone since.
I think about that every day.
Jodi Jacobellis is Vanessa's aunt.
I miss her laugh.
Jacobellis says she lives in a constant state of worry,
That's true.
keeping her phone by her head at night, praying for the call her niece is coming home.
Nobody should live that way.
Do you think Jose Morales knows where she is?
I absolutely do. He's basically the last person to be known with her.
Vanessa's father is now charged with the murder of her mother, Christine Holloway. The arrest warrant for Jose Morales shows a neighbor and DNA put him at the scene. He's claimed no knowledge of where his daughter is.
I truly and honestly feel, and this is my personal feeling, she's not in the U.S.
The warrant also suggests Morales was high on PCP at
So this is a newer post, this video, because I took you through the times of what was going on at the time. This is kind of a newer thing, but even back then, like a lot of this stuff is just stuff, even now with the stories I cover there, I do a video and they're talking about it months and months, the same thing. But the PCP thing, we went through all that as well. This guy clearly had some issues with drugs. And what's kind of interesting to me is now that the aunt, and I didn't see that part, the aunt is saying, you know, I don't know how they feel if she's still alive or not, but it seems like maybe they feel he sent her somewhere else out of the country, which I think about and wonder with some of these kids too. You could just think, you know, people have speculated like Lena and all those people, like, are they even still here? Now you got the border, all this stuff going on. Oh, and by the way, for the people that have been watching me for a while and you know about the Maricela Botello story that I covered, sorry to kind of ADD. Apparently, allegedly, they're saying Nina's on the run. There's not a lot of people here and a lot of people haven't seen that story. I might have to do a full recap on that one day. But they say she absconded or something like that. That was the terminology. I don't know what's going on. I'm not surprised. I've been figuring maybe one day they're going to dip out, but I'm waiting to see what happens before I officially talk about it, with that story.
At the time, Jacobellis says Holloway told her Morales struggled with drug problems, but she never mentioned his history of violence against women.
Christy kept that all from us because she knew we would be like, get away from him. He's no good.
And that's the thing too, ladies and men too, you know, it happens to guys too, but ladies, you know, just be very, it's not victim blame or nothing, just to be aware, you know, really get the hell out of these if you can. And I don't know that she was still with the guy because I think she was living on her own. I don't remember exactly. That's why I reached out to the person. Maybe we'll recap. This guy's in court, so we'll probably revisit this again at some point.
But she saw something good in him.
Jacobellis wasn't just Holloway's sister-in-law. The two were best friends. Even now, 2 years later, she's the one Jacobellis thinks of when something happens.
I'm like, oh, I got to tell Chrissy this. And I'm like, I can't. And it's heartbreaking.
So too is the shelf in her home dedicated to Vanessa and her mom.
When I have to remove the pictures to clean, I break down. Because I should be holding them and not their pictures.
Marissa Alter, News 12, Connecticut.
Just absolutely heartbreaking. Jacobellis also wanted to use today to point out there have been 2 more domestic violence murders in Ansonia. She's urging anyone in an abusive or dangerous...
I'm telling you, a lot of people jumped on this thing now, been doing this for a while, been talking about this for a while, these horrible situations.
His last court date was actually...
What do I want to show you
Jodi
guys next?
Jacobellis
Okay,
conducted a welfare check on...
And you can feel her pain.
What I want to show you guys. Oh no, there we go.
We're holding on. We miss them both every day.
This is Jodi Jacobellis, and you can feel her pain. On December 2nd, Ansonia police say someone killed her sister-in-law, Christine Holloway, in Christine's own home. Christine's 1-year-old daughter, Vanessa Morales, missing ever since.
It's been a tough 8 months, not knowing where Vanessa is, being without Chrissy.
Jodi appearing on News 8 today to make an appeal to you, the public.
Just keep your eyes peeled for Vanessa. This is her. There is a $10,000 reward for her.
She also has a message for whoever may have Vanessa right now.
Find it in your heart. Bring her home. We're holding on.
I just want to show
43-year-old Christine Holloway after she didn't...
Oh, this here too.
Her, call your local... So...
This is we're gonna watch some of her clips now. This is the age progression picture.
Today, they released an aged progressed photo of Vanessa. This is what she is believed to look like right now. She is now 2 years old. Please, if you've seen her or a child that resembles her, call your local authorities. I also have an anonymous tip line in my bio. So today, we rescheduled for...
So this is from 2/16. I think 20. Is this 2020? I don't know. It doesn't even say. Or 2021. Just some of the court updates.
His last court date was actually rescheduled for February 25th. As of right now, that's what it is, but it could change. Time to go through all of the evidence. The new court date is May 14th. My niece Vanessa is still missing. If you've seen her or a child resembles her, please call the Ansonia PD or the FBI. There's also an anonymous tip line in my bio. He's being charged with murdering my sister. There's actually 2
This was somebody asking, what are all the charges?
cases against him. One of the cases, he's being charged with murdering my sister-in-law and tampering with physical evidence. The second one is an unrelated weapons charge. The police found either a taser or a stun gun in his possession, and he wasn't allowed to have that.
Those are the things we've been talking about.
So a lot of people have been asking for an update, and here it is. Unfortunately, from what I know of as of right now, there is no plea deal in place, and we are pretty much proceeding to trial. I know the next court hearing or date is October 27th. As of today, September 3rd, Vanessa is still missing. Her birthday is this coming Tuesday. She's going to be 3 years old. At this point, I cannot stress enough how much, if you've seen a child that resembles Vanessa, place in a tip. The tip line is in my bio. Call your local authorities, call the FBI, call somebody if you think that the child that you're looking at could possibly be Vanessa, because you never know at this point. There's still a $10,000 reward.
It's been 2 years since the search for little Vanessa Morales began. Police say tips continue to come in, but nothing has panned out. News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter spoke with them about where that investigation stands tonight.
Vanessa Morales, seen here at age 1, turned 3 in September, a birthday she should have celebrated with her family. Instead, the Ansonia toddler is still gone 2 years after she disappeared.
It's really frustrating. Extremely frustrating.
Lieutenant Patrick Lynch says potential leads and sightings have taken investigators across the country, but they still don't know where Vanessa is.
Problem is we have no idea. We were working at a deficit to begin with. Based on the timeline, we were working probably close to 2 days behind.
Police got involved December 2nd, 2019, when they did a welfare check and discovered Vanessa's mother, Christine Holloway, beaten to death in their home. The toddler nowhere to be found. Family had last had contact with them November 29th. Police soon arrested Vanessa's father for...
So yeah, that was the last time family had contact with Christine, November 29th. And then police, I think the first welfare check was December 2nd.
Holloway's murder. Jose Morales was also named a suspect in his daughter's kidnapping.
Do you think he holds the key?
Well, we believe he was at least one of the last two people to be with her, so yes. In the initial stages, there were several interviews done with him, but after the arrest and with the ongoing criminal prosecution, we have not spoken to him. That's something him and his attorney would have to initiate for us.
These pictures of Vanessa Morales and Christine Holloway are still up on a utility pole where a memorial once stood. They've since faded, but police say their resolve hasn't.
These are the kind of cases that you don't forget.
In January, police were optimistic an age-enhanced image of Vanessa might lead to answers. They say they haven't given up.
We will continue to do whatever we need to do to bring resolution to the family and hopefully bring them some closure.
In Ansonia, Marissa Alter, News 12, Connecticut.
So I'm going to go through the stuff on her page. I'm not going to go through everything, just a couple of clips where she's talking. But she's been doing this for her sister-in-law for a while. Okay? Well, for Vanessa, you know. But both, really. Let's see. There was one here. You don't need... Can't do all the music stuff. Okay, here.
My family and I definitely have
What are your thoughts about who may have her, and did he have a girlfriend?
thoughts on who could possibly have her. For all we know, he did have a girlfriend on the side, and that's who has Vanessa. But unfortunately, the only person who officially knows is him, and he's not talking. My family and I definitely have thoughts on... Thank you.
So somebody said here it's actually very common for someone to be found alive years and even decades later. Don't lose hope, she could be found.
Thank you for your comment. Because this is the kind of positivity I want to see after living this nightmare. So I actually woke up to a lot of messages about this. A child was found wandering in San Diego, California.
There was a child that was found recently too. I don't know if anybody remembers. I know Momo remembers because she sent me the post. There was a black kid, a toddler. I forgot where. They found him just wandering. And I forgot to follow back up. I don't know. I forgot where, what. And I don't think it's common, Anna. I really don't think it is that common. But I forgot that kid that was found. I don't know what happened to his parents.
Looking at the photos alone, I know it's not Vanessa. It was determined that this child was a little boy and not a little girl. But I do know that they were reunited with their family. We firmly believe she is...
I have a question, and please don't take it the wrong way. I know police said they believe Vanessa is alive. What makes them think this?
Out there somewhere being taken care of by somebody. There is absolutely no evidence to suggest otherwise. Items used... We firmly believe she is out there somewhere being taken care of by somebody. There is absolutely no evidence to suggest otherwise. Items used to care for her are also missing. They include her diaper bag, her car seat, a toy, and a polka dot comforter. Unfortunately.
Another question. Somebody says, where did the father go after the vicious murder? Do police know? Curious if he took her or dropped her off somewhere. So sorry.
There isn't a definite timeline of when things actually happened. The police were able to track him to certain locations. He did dispose of evidence in a donation bin, but they were only able to track him so far. We firmly believe he dropped Vanessa off with someone he knows and trusts. And ever since he's been in police custody, he hasn't really been giving solid answers to anything. His next court date I know is January 21st.
Wait, when was this? Okay, this was recent then. Oh no, that was I think that was last year maybe.
There has been and currently is a $10,000 reward. This is for anyone who returns Vanessa safely to us. They can drop her off at any safe haven location. It's also for anyone who has information that would lead to her safe return. There has been...
Those are the court updates. Let me see if there's any other questions. We went over the charges.
Tips are still being played.
What is going on with Vanessa, though? Trial or plea deal? What about her still missing?
And leads are being followed up with. Unfortunately, they haven't led to Vanessa yet. I haven't heard anything about him being charged with anything in relation to Vanessa. I know that there was a witness that placed him as the last person to be seen with Vanessa. My family hopes that if there is a plea deal, it's to find out where Vanessa is. So a lot of people have been asking for an update, and here it is.
Oh, we just watched that.
Unfortunately, from what I know of as of right now, there is no plea deal in place. And we are pretty much proceeding to trial. I know the next court hearing or date is October 27th.
You guys think they should offer a plea deal? Like if he offers the location of the baby or something?
As of today, September 3rd, Vanessa is still missing. Her birthday is this coming Tuesday. She's going to be 3 years old. At this point, I cannot stress enough how much, if you've seen a child that resembles Vanessa, place in a tip. The tip line is in my bio. Call your local authorities, call the FBI, call somebody if you think that the child that you're looking at could possibly be Vanessa, because you never know at this point.
And everything else we're pretty much caught up on. The final thing with this story is these two articles, and then I'll briefly touch on this just to kind of take a look at this, because there was I think it was yesterday, a body was found in Texas. You know, everybody's thinking of Lena, of course, but all they said was that it was under 18 and a female. And that was kind of it. But we'll take a look at the video after. So Jose Morales, this is a newer article, November 5th, 2021 by CT Post. And it says here, Jose Morales is getting, let me switch myself. Getting a new lawyer. The New Haven man accused of murder in the December 2019 death of Christine Holloway and Ansonia, whose daughter with Holloway has been missing for nearly 2 years, appeared in Superior Court Friday. He was currently represented by the firm Patterson Smith, but Morales told the judge, Peter Brown, on Friday he has new representation. I do not have an attorney already retained, Your Honor, Morales said. He said, I do have another attorney already retained, Your Honor, Morales said. And who is that? The judge asked. Tara Knight, Morales said. She wasn't able to be here today because I gave her notice yesterday. A message left at Knight's office Friday. The judge continued the case to November 15 to see if Knight files the paperwork to represent Morales. Holloway was found beaten to death in her home in 2019. The other thing, I think this had, well, this is old. This is from February. So just thinking a little bit further back, it says in a short hearing Thursday, Jose Morales' attorney, Kevin Smith, said he needed to confer with prosecutors as he resolves issues accessing some of the discovery material they provided in the case. Supervisory Assistant State Attorney Howard Stein told Judge Peter Brown that the state had provided over 20 gigabytes of materials along with links to hours of body-worn camera footage from police officers. It remains unclear when Morales, who has pleaded not guilty to murder and tampering with evidence charges, will reach a resolution or go to trial. Brown continued the case to May 14. Morales remains held in a $5 million bond for the December 2019 death of Christine Holloway. Despite an exhaustive search, police have not found the couple's child. So, and he's only being charged with Christine murder, nothing to do with Vanessa. He is a suspect. And that's kind of like where that story falls. It was one of those stories to me that's kind of like slipped through the cracks a little bit. We're going to get to the Texas thing in a second. I wanted to see if there's anything else new real quick before we move on. And the reward, I guess, is still at $10,000. Surprised it hasn't gone higher. Yeah. Yeah, this was just, to me, one of those weird cases that kind of slipped through the cracks. It feels like, I mean, there was people on it back then, but you know, had this been like something like if it was now that would have happened, I think would have got more attention, because it feels like now more people are paying attention to missing persons. So let's just take a look at this video briefly. And I appreciate you guys joining me. Appreciate you being here and supporting, you know, some of the older stories that didn't really get much attention. There might be more stuff popping up with this, especially as he goes to trial. I don't know what's going to happen, so we'll see. But this was yesterday. A girl's body was found at a park in Baytown on Tuesday morning, according to authorities. The body was found in the middle of a field in Tejas Park, located at the 500 block of Haffer Avenue, around 8:15 a.m. When officers arrived, they said the girl was unresponsive and pronounced dead at the scene. It's not immediately clear how the girl died. Police did not release the identity or age of the girl, but said she was under the age of 18. The officers and detectives are actively investigating the case and will work to ensure that the offender is brought to justice. We will partner with our citizens and area law enforcement to ensure the crime is resolved. We advocate for the victim. So take a look. I didn't really, you know, of course, when you hear this stuff, this is the thing. You know, with all those stories that we've been covering on the channel, people that have been here, and even the new people, I think about Layla Cavett, you know, some of the ones that I was really physically heavily involved in. When Layla Cavett was happening, you know, it was Florida. Bodies popping up left and right. Everything pops up, we're thinking it's her. You know what I'm saying? People were messaging me, texting me, like all this stuff here. There was times where I would get out, okay, at night, I'm going to the scene where a body was found, because I'm like, maybe this is her. And after a couple of times, the reality is that bodies are found everywhere. Of course, you want to pay attention to it, but I wasn't going to jump on this. Just kind of waiting to see, a wait and see attitude, as JLP would say. But anyway, it's curious though. See what they say.
Now to a developing story out of Baytown. A girl's body discovered in the middle of a park, and now police say it was murder.
Yeah, the grim discovery was made today,
and for the Texas people here, I think Silvio looked it up for me last night. I think he said it's like 3 hours though from the location where Lena was at. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. I haven't checked that myself. Do I think it's Lena? I have no idea. No, I don't know. I really don't know. The distance is like, maybe makes me think less. I don't know.
Tejas Park, that's on Hafer near Austin Street, and that is where we find KPRC2's Devin Clark. He joins us now with the latest on this investigation. Devin, good evening.
Good evening, Keith and Lauren. Yeah, we were at Tejas Park, but we rushed over here to the Baytown Police Department to catch the chief before he left, and he just told us that it is the body of a girl under the age of 18 that was discovered this morning, and he also assured...
Okay, so down says further than 3 hours. Okay. And you guys in Texas, too, you guys just had this other person that was found dead, right? Well, he was from Texas, found in the Guadalupe River, right? And they thought it was the other guy, Laundry. The reality is there's bodies everywhere popping up all the time.
That right behind those doors, there is a team hard at work to find the killer. We're told that the disturbing discovery was made around 8:15 this morning in the middle of the park. The body of an unidentified injured girl is being investigated as a possible homicide. This after investigators say that they were called there to find the unresponsive girl laying on the ground. And we're told that that officer immediately called Baytown EMS, but the girl was pronounced dead from her injury. Tonight, the police chief, John Stringer, has a message for the killer.
You know who you are. If you're responsible for this, the very best thing you can do for yourself, for the victim, the victim's family, and the community of the city of Baytown is to turn yourself in without further delay. Because I can promise you this, the men and women of the Baytown Police Department, both sworn personnel and support staff, are dedicated to the equitable pursuit of justice. And
investigators would not say how long the girl appeared to be dead or how long they believe she was injured, nor do they know exactly where she was murdered. All of those details they say they are withholding for the time being so that they don't compromise the investigation, but they are asking for the public's help. Anyone out there who has any information on how this girl ended up dead in Tejas Park this morning is asked to call Baytown Police or Crime Stoppers, 281-427-TIPS. Reporting live.
So yeah, that was with regard, and thank you guys on Discord, and somebody else, a couple of people messaged me about the Texas thing. Appreciate that. The There's somebody. Let me just get the super chat real quick. Oh, just real quick too. Apparently, if you ordered anything on the website and you didn't get it, let me know on ickedmail.com. Because I think I had 2 people contact me and they said they ordered the cups, they didn't get them. I had to reach out to the company. I spoke with them. Apparently, they're out of stock, but they're not telling people it's out of stock. One person they refunded. The other person I had to reach out to customer service and then they refunded it. So I might have to change vendors. So just, if you ordered something, just reach out to me if you didn't get it and I'll take care of it. Let's do this real quick too. And I might come back later. I'm not sure yet because there's a story that somebody shared that looks interesting. And it's just another one of those stories of somebody meeting somebody off of Tinder or some website, a woman, and she's missing now. But I have to verify and check because if there's not enough for a live, then I will, I'll just make a direct video. If there's enough for a live, we'll come back and hang out. Let me check real quick. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say thank you to Spaniard PR. Thank you for the super chat. And Sheldon, I think I missed you yesterday. Thank you for the super chat as well. Gracias. And yeah, man, don't hesitate to join Discord. We're there. We're chilling all day long. Well, not all day long, but we're there. As far as Oakley, Carlson, I tried today. I sat down. I was waiting through the public link that they say you can't record or broadcast. But I sat there for like over an hour, and then they took a recess, and then they came back, and it was just it's like they were just leaving it for the end, I guess. And so I couldn't. I just can't spend the whole day just there, So I'll see if any of the news or anybody that's watched it all day, if they could maybe reach out or I'll look and see for any updates. But from what I saw in the hearings, it was from the other people, it was very just they're giving dates for the next hearing or whatever. Like it wasn't like detailed or anything like that. So we'll have to see. And of course I'll be following the Maricela thing because Nina Morano, I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe I haven't seen anything official. I reached out to somebody for them to call me because I like to see something in writing or a court thing or some news thing or something like that. And I didn't see it, but multiple people reached out to me and said it. I was like, oh my God. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone. We're not going to officially, we'll wait. Wait and see. Wait and see attitude. Oh, and what I'll do too after this stream for the new people, like you came in late or whatever, I'm going to post the link that I did in the beginning of 2020. If you just want the short version or whatever, I'll put that there too. They demonetize that. So, just thinking of anything else. I guess that's kind of it. And they approved the video for Ease Out, surprisingly. All the other videos, the last 4 streams are sitting waiting for YouTube, but it's all right. And somebody said, where was Vanessa? This, I guess if you're asking what state or something, it was Connecticut. So Ansonia is a city in New Haven County, and it's in Connecticut. As far as like the actual address, that I don't know. It's been a long time. I completely forgot about the story until today. I was like, wow. There was another really interesting story that I covered on the channel too. We may revisit it one day. Another baby. And it's actually a Florida story. Some crazy motherfucker. This guy killed the mother, the aunt, the grandmother. This dude wiped out like generations. The father of the kid walks in there, I think, with like an assault rifle, shoots everybody up, takes the one, I think it was one, I forgot how old the baby was, and dips out. I gotta check out what Maddie's playing. It sound kind of graphic over there. And he was like on the run. It was this whole crazy thing. And then I think they found him dead, but they never found the baby. Baby's still missing to this day. People have speculated because they thought they saw the baby with a woman, but then they said it wasn't true. It was just a false sighting. To this day, that baby was never found. People have speculated, like, did he give the baby to somebody? Did he take the baby out of the country? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the name was Andrew Gonzalez or something like that. Let's see. Maybe one day I'll follow. I did a live stream on it once. Andrew, it was Gonzalez. Oh. Gonzalez. I don't know. Can't find it. I'll find it though. What I'm gonna try to do is at the end of the streams. Oh, I found it now. Crazy ass story. At the end of the streams, I'm gonna put in the comment section recommended watches that maybe you haven't seen that I think is pretty good. You should check out. I'm gonna start trying to do that so you guys can check out the extra stuff. But yeah, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you guys. Love you. Be safe. And yeah, we'll see you next time.